Hey everybody! In my last video, I had mentioned sharing what it is that Eden and I eat during the day because I have had several requests for that video. So without further ado, here it is. We start our day with juice, fresh pressed juice, sometimes different recipes, but our favorite is very simple. And the reason we like to eat simply is because when we put more than about 5 ingredients into our bodies at one time, the digestion has to process all of those ingredients at one time. You have to think of your gut as your second brain. In fact, it should be considered your first because they have found that your gut has more neurons in it than your actual brain does. Like I said, when we have to process more than 5 ingredients, the gut can get incredibly confused and it takes a lot longer to think about it, to process it. So then that's when we start getting the foggy head and the foggy brain. But anyway, so we start with juice, apple celery sometimes. We also like to add beets for the blood and carrots for the eyes. Then I make a massive smoothie. I pretty much make the whole blender for Eden, and she kind of just like sips on that throughout the day. But in her smoothie, I put a bunch of mango in, 2 giant handfuls of spring mix lettuce. Usually vary it between like frozen blueberries or frozen strawberries. And I also add a protein powder. And what I can do is I can link my website in the description. And if you go to my website and you click on favorite products, you'll be able to see what I like to buy in the way of my protein powder and my superfood blends. But I do the protein powder and I do the superfood green powder for her, and I also add chia seeds or hemp seeds for those omegas, because we can get the exact right balance of omega-3 and 6 fatty acids from chia seeds and hemp seeds as well. So that's her smoothie, and that's very similar to what I make for myself as well. I also like to add a mushroom blend powder to mine as well. And then throughout the day, just eats a variety of fruit. And by the evening, we usually have something a little bit heavier. But I also make different kinds of things for her. Like I put popsicle molds. I basically just make a smoothie and put that in the popsicle molds. And tonight, her and I made muffins, which are cooked, but we do also have a dehydrator. But in the muffins, I dehydrated cauliflower to make my own cauliflower flour. Then we put in pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, a whole apple, and dried mango. And then I made a chia and flax egg to make everything stick together. And I also like to use psyllium husk because it makes it nice and fluffy. What else? Cinnamon and ginger. It actually ends up tasting like a pumpkin muffin. And tonight we also made a pizza with those delicious cauliflower crust and sauteed spinach. I just saute with water. I don't, like a tiny drizzle of oil. I don't recommend oils personally because they're just extremely over-processed. And then when you cook with them, it changes the chemistry of them, We also, the other day, I made pulled jackfruit, which you can get in the can. You can get young jackfruit in the can. And I made a barbecue sauce using dates and cumin and paprika and a little bit of cinnamon and onion and garlic. We also added pepper in that, but then I blended up in the Vitamix with a little bit of water and the tiniest bit of apple cider vinegar. That's also kind of another controversial thing, like fermented things people swear by for gut health. Other people do not. Other people think, that it feeds bacterial overload in the way of, yeast overload within the body. You have so many different opinions on that, and I feel like if we become so dogmatic about things, that anxiety makes things worse than, just rolling what feels right in your body. And so then once I blended that all up in the Vitamix, poured it over the jackfruit, and had pulled pork. I don't even like saying that, but because now that I've been a vegan for a long time, I'm all about the advocacy for the animals, because you learn a lot of stuff when you're part of the community, and how things are processed and treated. But anyway, I keep going off on a little bit of a tangent. Thank you for your patience with me, but I could talk about this stuff forever. I did the cauliflower crust. I made a cashew cheese in the Vitamix, spread that over, and put the sauteed spinach on top, and then the jackfruit on top, and then popped it in the oven literally for 2 minutes just to warm it up. And it was so good. But we also eat dried fruit throughout the day. A lot of people get nervous about eating fruit, and they feel like it feeds yeast and, the bad bacteria. But fruit is honestly one of the best things for humans to have. All the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, the hydration. Not to mention the fact that it is literally the easiest food on the planet to digest, or I should say the fastest food to digest. A lot of people do notice that it just goes right through them. So that's kind of a typical day. Well, I kind of explained mostly Eden's and a little bit of what we have together at dinner. But throughout the day for me, I have my smoothie as well, and then I also generally have 2 pretty big salads. I don't eat a whole lot of variety personally. Most people call me the mango lady. They know me as eating mangoes all the time. I put them on my salads, and I also make dressings with them. One of my favorite salad dressings is mango, tomatoes, and chives. And put that in the blender, and oh my god, it's so good. And it's so easy and so simple. But I also will make a dressing with a blend of vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower and carrots. And then you can always substitute the apple cider vinegar for lemon, a squeeze of lemon or lime. And then a little bit of garlic and some basil and oregano and cilantro. And it's just really good. I also, to make it a little bit on the creamier side, I'll put in either hemp seeds or a little bit of the protein powder. And that kind of makes more of a savory dressing. And my salads, like I said, I eat probably 2 heads of lettuce a day. Pour my dressing over it, and then add whatever you want on top of it. Sometimes I'll at dinner time, I'll even do zucchini noodles. Eden loves the zucchini noodles with a really good sauce. And so that's our day. And if you guys ever want to know any more details on recipes, leave a comment or request what you'd like. Give a like to the video if you found it helpful, useful, entertaining. And I am sending all of my love to all of you. Bye. What's up, everybody?